stand up on this one, bro. We ain't taking it, these girls get the wins up. Big Miami Dolphins in the building, put the fins up. We ain't taking it, these girls get the wins up. Big Miami Dolphins in the building, put the fins up. Put the fins up. Let me see you put your fins up. Put the fins up. Get in. Let me see you put your fins up. It's a hot sunny day out at Hard Rock. Ain't nobody coming in to winning, this is our block. All I heard in the off season was hella talk. Then it came time to play ball, now it's 2 o'clock. We ain't scared of anyone, we knock opponents down. All of a sudden Miami the hottest show in town. And everybody wanna be like us. Well, Tyreek got it, leaving everyone in the dust. Yeah, they don't wanna be believers, they thinking that we some phony. So we had to go and hit them with 70 on them ponies. 2 times undefeated, that's a game plan. If you ain't stand behind a quarterback, you ain't a fan. We got the deep pass run game trifecta. And to a man, now to break a franchise record. We Super Bowl bound, they gon' see the way for real. Some on sniper on that, they got confirmed kills. We ain't taking it, these girls get the wins up. Big Miami Dolphins in the building, put the fins up. We ain't taking it, these girls get the wins up. Big Miami Dolphins in the building, put the fins up. Put the fins up. Let me see you put your fins up. Put the fins up. Get in. Let me see you put your fins up. Let me see you put your fins up. Let me see you put your fins up.
What's up, everybody, on a glorious Tuesday? Checking the mic, making sure everything is set, making sure all the numbers are okay, make sure we don't go off during the middle of the broadcast. Welcome to the original, the OG Tua Tuesday. Glad you guys could make it. Those of you that can, thank you. Those of you who haven't, we're still waiting for you to filter in and get in here. We got a lot of ground to cover today, but before we start,
come on, show some love and click that like button.
Yes, click the like button. So, those of you who got up early this morning, woke up to some pretty bad news. Devon Achane will not be playing for at least a couple weeks. What does that mean? I have no idea. At least a couple weeks. The Achane train has been derailed. It has been stuck in the station. It's not going to be moving. What looked like a pretty easy, innocuous injury has turned into something somewhat serious. How do you replace somebody like that who's just been kicking butt? 12.1 yards per carry? Well, you bring in Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson, incidentally, is coming off the injured reserve list, so I'm pretty sure that the way the Miami Dolphins offense works and how things are so fast, and somebody who already knows the offense coming in, it shouldn't miss too much of a beat. Well, but Barry, if it's not going to miss that much of a beat, why wasn't Jeff Wilson doing it last year? Well, it looks like Mike created an entire new scheme based upon the speed that he had this year. So I'm not sure how much of a drop it's going to take. We won't know until probably this weekend, and we begin seeing them out there with both backs. I'm not even sure if Jeff Wilson will be on the field this weekend, just getting off IR. So hopefully Salvin Ahmed might be back. If not, we may see Chris Brooks, which I don't have a problem with. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't have a problem with seeing Chris Brooks out there, especially against the Carolina Panthers. I mean, we're talking about a JV team, basically, guys, ladies. Let's not kid ourselves. We are definitely talking about a JV team with a rookie quarterback, 0-5. Maybe Salvin Ahmed should start and rest Raheem Mostert for the Eagles. Don't want to see him get hurt, because if he gets hurt, then we're really screwed against the Eagles. But in any event, I've said it for the last couple weeks. I'll say it again. I just want to find a way to get the players off the field in these low-ranking games. Last week did not like it at all that we went to basically the fourth quarter with Tua still in the game. The way these injuries have been happening across the NFL, starting with Aaron Rodgers on the first or second, third play of the game. man, I think at this point you need to save your players. You don't need to worry about getting stats and breaking records and everything else. I think you need to be careful as heck with your players. All of them. From the offensive line to the guys on defense to Tua himself. I just think this year, for some reason, there's been an inordinate amount of injuries. I haven't seen injuries like this in years. And since this is going to be, it seems, the trend, get out, get in front of Carolina Panthers and pull the guys and let them rest for the Eagles. You're going to need everybody. You're going to need everybody available for the Eagles. No doubt. There's no doubt that every single player is going to be needed against the Eagles. So, Achane is gone. We don't know for how long. If they put him on injury reserve, it's going to be for 4 weeks minimum. So I guess we'll find that out in the next day or so. Once he gets his, I guess he's going to look for a second opinion on it. I don't even know what's wrong with his knee. I thought it was just a sprain. So this is probably a little bit more than a sprain. Hopefully it doesn't have anything with the letters C and L attached to it. ACL, MCL. Don't want to hear those. Hopefully it is just a sprain. Hopefully it's just precautionary. He didn't look like he was in pain after the game. He didn't look like he was in pain or having any distress during the press conference. So I'm not really sure what happened. Just want him to come back because definitely has been a cog in the wheel for sure. And Dolphins fans across the board were like, oh my God, I can't imagine. I don't play fantasy football, but I'm sure there were some fantasy football people who are just like, oh, that sucks. Absolutely, it sucks. So let me go first, and I'll take some comments in a second. Let me go first to something that aired today and get your opinion on it. Stephen A., every week he gives his top 5 teams in the NFL. This week, I found it very interesting, and I'm going to tell you why I find it interesting as I go through this. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, and if you guys haven't seen it, you might be in for a little bit of a treat.
Yeah, it's time for another A-list, okay? I know what y'all tried to do to me last week. It ain't gonna happen this week, Shannon. It ain't gonna happen this week, Jeff said it. Just keep in mind, the list is fluid. Week 5 of the NFL season is coming and going. We're gonna go to the A-list. Give me number 5 on the list, please, right now. Bam! The Miami Dolphins.
All right, so right off the bat, he's got the Miami Dolphins at number 5. And number 4 is probably gonna freak you out. But let me just let him continue, then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Why? They resurrected themselves after getting stomped by the Buffalo Bills. I understand that. That was just an aberration. Any given Sunday, you saw Al Pacino, you saw LL Cool J, you saw Jamie Foxx, you saw my brother Bill Bellamy. These things happen. 1 week does not make a season. But the Dolphins are still the most prolific offense in the National Football League. Even as we speak with Achane going to be out, the bottom line is they still got the cheetah. They still got Jalen Waddle. They still got Barrios and the rest of the crew. They're going to be just fine, all right? I got the Dolphins at number 5. Let me give you number 4.
Now,
Bam! The Detroit Lions. When we gonna wake up and understand? Times have changed in the Motor City. Times have changed.
I completely agree with what he said, number 5. Regarding the second part, he goes, with the cheetah, with Waddle, with Tua, everything should be okay. I don't think anybody should be panicking whatsoever. So let's see how he justifies number 4.
As my brother, God rest his wonderful soul, the one and only Stuart Scott used to call Detroit Detroit. It's a different ball game now. Jared Goff is that dude. Dan Campbell has changed the culture. They got a defense with Hutchinson and those boys. They're going to do some things. The Lions are coming. They're clearly going to win the NFC North. You could scratch Minnesota, Chicago, and Green Bay. No love for love on this particular day. Sorry, it's about the Detroit Lions.
Notice what he said there. Yeah, he talked a little bit about Jared Goff, but you're going to see a continuing theme here, and it's probably why the Miami Dolphins are at number 5. He said, and it's true, Detroit has an amazing defense, and you're going to see that trend throughout this list.
Got them as a top 4 team. Give me top 3, though, right here. Give it to me right there. Bam! Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions. I understand they got receivers that can't get open, but they still got a running back they can throw the ball to and run the football for them in Pacheco. They still got Travis Kelce, assuming he gonna be all right, okay? You got Patrick Mahomes, you got Andy Reid calling plays, and oh, by the way, the defense is vastly improved compared to what it was last year.
The defense is vastly improved compared to what it was last year. You mean a Super Bowl winning defense has vastly improved. Again, the two teams he has so far above the Dolphins, the Lions and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs have been struggling in terms of offensively, but you can't deny their defense. The defense of the Chiefs, the defense of the Lions. He just slid those in there, but to me, those are very important facts.
Top 3 team, okay? They ain't top 2, though. Give it to me right here, please. Bam! The Philadelphia Eagles. Why? Undefeated on the season, rolls up into SoFi Stadium, handles their business. Did you see Hassan Reddick over those last 2 plays? Did you see that defense amp it up?
Did you see that defense ramp it up? A lot of people, after I did a video a day or so ago, said, oh, they haven't played anybody either, or they haven't played anybody either. Defense. These first 4 teams he's mentioned, Dolphins, Lions, Chiefs, and Eagles. The Dolphins are below because the other teams are playing some serious defense.
See A.J. Brown on there. I still see Devontae Smith there. I still see Goddard and those boys. I still see a running game with Gainwell. I still see a defense that can get to the quarterback. Okay, I'm sorry. The Philadelphia Eagles undefeated, 2 games ahead in the NFC East. As I predicted, they're a top 2 team in the National Football League. They just ain't number 1. We know who number 1 is. It's the 49ers. Okay.
I don't think you can argue with that choice whatsoever. As much of a fan as we are fans of the Miami Dolphins, the San Francisco 49ers are playing absolutely lights out on both sides of the ball. Not just offense, but Fred Warner and that defensive squad, they're playing completely, just another level of defense.
It's Bosa in the crew. It's Warner in the crew. It's Brock Purdy, MVP candidate, Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, Kittles, Shanahan, the top 5 teams in the NFL. I got the 49ers, I got the Eagles, I got the Chiefs, I got the Lions, I got the Dolphins. By the way, the only reason I put the Dolphins ahead of the Bills is because even though the Bills spanked them, the Bills went and lost in London. So I said, nah, just another game you shouldn't have lost. I'm not giving it to you. 1 bad week for the Dolphins. I got this as my A-list.
Now understand, there was something else I hope you noticed on that list. Let me just recap it for you. Number 5, Dolphins. Number 4, Lions. Number 3, Chiefs. Number 2, Eagles. Number 1, 49ers. What do you notice about that top 5 list that he put together that most people would probably agree with? All right, that's going to be an easy quiz. The answer is the Dolphins play 2 of those teams in the next 3 or 4 weeks. 2 of them. Talk about being tested. Everybody's talking about what this offense has done thus far. Breaking records. Tua on pace to be the most yardage in NFL history. A-Chain 12.1 yards per carry. Tyreek on his way to 2,000. But that's not the Broncos. That's not the Giants. And it's not the Patriots. It's the Chiefs and the Eagles. Both Super Bowl teams are facing the Dolphins in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Warm up against the Panthers, and then boom, Sunday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe that one's in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be a test. Any way you shake it, that is going to tell us specifically where this team is. I can't wait for that game. I think it's going to be an amazing game. I think the Dolphins could take them if the offensive line can find some way to control Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, and that bad dude, Jalen Carter. If they can't stop Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, and Jordan Davis, Tua is going to have a long night. So Mike McDaniel is going to have to find a way to get back to that 2.2 second release, because that, I don't think the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins are going to be able to contain the defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm hoping that he uses this week and he uses next week to prepare for the Eagles by installing or reinstalling that offense where he was early in the season. Boom, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. What do you guys think about the upcoming week? I know Panthers are the Panthers. They're 0-5. I'm not even really going to spend a lot of time on them, but the Philadelphia Eagles just scare the hell out of me. Let me see what you guys. Our boy CCR, who always likes to break the party here. Where's the thing? Where'd your thing go? I quit send. Why is this? Oh, there it is. Tua is an ankle weight on this team. I don't know if he's an ankle weight. I mean, the guy's been just kicking butt. Nobody can deny that Tua has been kicking butt and putting up numbers. So this team only goes as far as Tua takes them. Can't rely on the defense. This is Tua's team to take this place wherever he goes. Let me just make sure these things are populating. Yeah, this is Tua's year. I said it from the beginning of the season, regardless of his defense. Yeah, when you say it's Tua's year, again, this year only goes as far as he can take them, and he's got 2 very, very, very tough games coming up with the Chiefs and also with the Eagles. Montgomery Wilson says, no other QB not named Tua could run this team. Y'all are a bunch of haters. Man, I'm way too old to be called a hater. Where'd that word come from, man? I mean, it's like in the last 2 years, people keep using the word hate, and they flip it around, and it's like if you say something negative about somebody, you're hating on them. Ain't nobody hating on Tua. I think we all want to see the best, but I think people are being realistic and they have some thoughts about what's going on. I don't think it's about Tua. I don't think it's about Tua being able to perform. I think it's about Tua being able to perform with that offensive line against some stellar defensive lines. But, Stickman says, I think he's talking about people in the chat, not you, Barry. Oh, there's some people in the chat. Oh, I got you. I'm sorry. I apologize. Of course there's going to be people in the chat. Last week against the Giants, yes, he threw a 102-yard pick six. Everybody saw that he hit his hand on the back of Connor's helmet. But the problem with that, and I said it in my video, I don't blame Tua as much for that 102-yard pick as I blame Mike McDaniel. Yeah, I know he basically focused in on one receiver and he was going to throw that ball no matter what, but that's the problem. Remember, when you're at the 2, 3, 4 yard line, it's not like being at the 30 where you can spread the field. When Mike McDaniel is calling a pass play, and I don't think I heard anybody talk about this, when Mike McDaniel is calling a pass play from the 3 or 4 yard line, you only got 10 yards of space. That's it. You don't have 20 yards where Tyreek can outrun somebody. You don't have any space where Jalen Waddle can, outmaneuver. You're bunched in. Your offense is here, the defense is here, and there's only this much space. So whatever you're going to have to do, you're not beating anybody long. Your speed doesn't matter in that regard. You're hoping that you can break in on an in-breaker route and catch somebody napping. My problem is that play should never have been called. If you got a team that's running up and down the field, you need to run. You need to run because the defense is packed in so tight that more things can happen bad than can happen good. And you saw that with a 102-yard pick. So let's not put that on Tua. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it. Maybe he shouldn't have stared down the receiver. But the play should never have been called. That's the problem I'm having. I'm not hating on Tua, and I'm not hating on Mike McDaniel. I'm just saying the play should never have been called. That's the problem I have. Ray says, my girlfriend is a Giants fan. I need a place to stay for a few days. Got a spare room, Barry? Yeah, actually, I do. Kind of cool. Yeah, Viper shouldn't have happened. Absolutely should not have happened. That's the problem. And I don't know if you're meaning the play shouldn't have happened, but I just don't think they should have thrown that play in that period of time. I mean, in that position. There was a PI on the play before, a PI pass interference on the play before on Waddle. Where'd that go? Clicking buttons. Okay, here. Why did you not show up? Well, anyway, Vipey says something that's obviously makes a lot of sense. There was a pass interference on the play a while. Everybody has seen it in hindsight. But you got to play with the refs. What the refs do, the refs do. I mean, I don't know if you saw the Minnesota Vikings game and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, that was robbery. That was complete robbery. And it was almost like they had scripted the game and said the Kansas City Chiefs are going to beat the Minnesota Vikings, and that's it, because that was such an egregious call that they didn't make. Actually, they did call it. They called pass interference on that play. Together and said, never mind, Chiefs win. Okay, thank you, Chiefs win. No pass interference. Yeah. Okay, I heard that there was trouble in the clubhouse between some defensive players and Fangio, mainly X. Well, I don't know if there's trouble in the clubhouse, but X really did make his feelings known against the Buffalo Bills. He said, I wanted to cover Stephon Diggs. I think I could have covered Stephon Diggs. I asked Fangio, go ahead and switch me and Cater so I can cover him, and he didn't do it. So, yeah, and I'm just telling you, they're bound to have some friction in that locker room. You can't come out every week, do a press conference and say, I ain't got the players. I don't have the players here that can make this defense work. Eventually, that's going to make the guys in the locker room go, F you, bud. I mean, your calls aren't working. You got the players. And so I haven't heard that there's been problems inside the clubhouse. But I wouldn't be surprised, because you just can't talk like that about people over and over and over. I don't have the players. They're not good. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. These guys are professionals. They've been here before you were here. They're only going to take so much of that before, there will be trouble in the clubhouse and locker room. Let's see here. Hopefully this comes through. Yeah, I also believe Cater Kohu has gotten a bad rap for the Bills game. X wouldn't have done any better, and Cater is the better DB. Watch the tape from TV, and debatable, but if something's not working, you have to try and fix it. And I know we're talking about Tua, but in that game, we're going to go back a week, because that's when it was. He didn't try to fix it. That's one of the problems. Let's see here. Isn't Phillips hurt? Phillips was hurt, but I think what I Got Game is saying here, if I can click on his button, Chubb and Phillips have not done poop. Let's give Phillips a pass. He's been hurt a lot. He's got an excuse from his mom. Jalen's hurt. Please be easy on him. Chubb, on the other hand, like I said in my video, I think AVG is going to take his job. I think Andrew Van Ginkel has been, I don't know how he's been transformed. Maybe he studied Fangio's defense better. I don't know. But that kid's been playing lights out. Chubb, there's no excuse, man. But you better get it together quickly. And that's the thing, when I showed his top 5, this is your scrimmage week. This is when you're bringing in a JV team to beat up on. You had these 2 games. You had the Giants, and you're going to have the Carolina Panthers. The Giants had no offensive line to speak of. What did Bradley Chubb do? No offensive line. So now you're going to be playing the Panthers against a rookie QB, and they're 0-5. And you got to get it right. You have to have it. You got to play at a 9 or a 10 level against Philadelphia. You cannot come in like you did against the Giants. You just can't do it. They'll wipe you out. You got to be up at 9 or 10. I think all of us believe that every single player on that team is capable of going toe-to-toe with the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think anybody thinks, it's definitely a loss. There's no way. Everybody believes that the Dolphins, if they play up here, can play with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the problem. Pablo says, and I hope this comes through. Let me see. I keep clicking the button. And okay, I lost all confidence in Fangio. He's going to cost us big time. Yeah, it's got to get it cleaned up. I mean, yeah, Jalen Ramsey will be back hopefully in a month or so, but I don't know if you can wait till then. Now understand, there's no doom here. Dolphins could lose to the Eagles. They could lose to the Chiefs. They could lose to the Cowboys. They could still go 12-5. If they went 12-5, they're still going to win the AFC East. If they went 12-5, they're still going to get into the playoffs. But at that point, you're playing playoff football, and there are no days off. There are no Giants. There are no Carolina Panthers. Every single game has to be up here. Everybody. Defense, Mike McDaniel with his play calls, Tua with his pass calls and his selections and everything else, and then Tyreek. So let me get into something about Tyreek. I don't know if you guys saw this. I don't have a visual for it. But you remember when Tyreek got in trouble and he slapped the guy upside the head at the boat launch place at the marina. And everyone was he going to get arrested? Was this going to happen? Was that going to happen? Even myself, I was like the NFLPA and how they look at players over a lifetime rather than just one incident. This is again another incident that Tyreek's going to get himself in trouble. And they said, okay, you settled out of court, and because you settled out of court, we're not going to seek. God, I got something in my eye. We're not going to seek any charges. We're not going to try and suspend you. You're good. You're free. You're free for slapping somebody upside the head. Did you see what the NFL slapped Tyreek with for his actions during the game? I don't know if you guys saw it or not. Let me see if people saw it. The NFL, well, first of all, let me set the precedent. Tyreek catches a touchdown. He goes up into the stands to give his mom a ball, and the guy in the audience or in the stands didn't realize his mom was behind him, tried to get the ball. Everybody's fighting for the ball, and they finally get the ball to his mom, and he stood up there for a period of time and like, hey, man, give her the ball. It's her ball. Everything happened, and he was up there too long. He got flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. The NFL fined him $100,000. I don't know if you guys saw that. The NFL fined Tyreek Hill $100,000 for his actions in the stands, giving the ball to his mother. Hit a guy upside the head? Nah, not going to do anything about it. Do something where a child's arm got broken? Nah, no big deal. Settle out of court. Cause a delay a game during our broadcast? Hey, Tyreek, that's going to cost you $100,000. They must have a target on him. I cannot even fathom that somebody would get dinged for $100,000 for what he did. Penalty, sure. End of story. Oh, wait a second. You're going to nail me for $100,000? That's absolutely insane. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. Yeah, Vipey. Yeah, he got nailed. Where'd your tweet go? I mean, your comment. For some reason, they're not populating. Keep trying. Well, anyway, Vipey's asking me, did he really? Hold on. Yeah, really, he got $100,000. $100,000 fine today for going into the stands. Absolutely crazy. Ray Finkel says, and hopefully I can populate this one. I must be having some sort of a glitch tonight. Okay, refs have been bad all season, all the games I've seen. I'm looking to see if I see any ladies' names in here. I'm hoping maybe Thelma's not here, but one of the things, have you guys noticed as you're watching these games? I'm not sexist. I'm not sexist at all. I got a beautiful wife. These women refs, I don't know if they got the best of training and were thrown out there on the field. I'm seeing some really questionable calls by these women officials. Understand, most of these guys who are officials have been out there for 10 years, 12 years, some of them 20 years. These women officials have been here for 1, maybe 2 years, and they're trying to diversify the to refereedom. I'm not liking it, and when I'm seeing some of the stuff, like Ray said, they've been off this year. You watch some of these games and see who's calling some of these flags. You'd be absolutely. Vipey's telling me, relax, don't say it. Yeah, I'm seeing it. I got game says, okay, let me see if okay. When was the last time this team started 5-1? Anyone know? Nope. Don't care. Don't care. You know why I don't care? Because it doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. It matters what happens at the end of the year. I don't care if the Dolphins are 9-8 going into the playoffs if they can win playoff games. Remember, and I've said this in my videos all the time, the only thing that matters is if you win the last game of the year. Only one team gets to say that. Hey, we won our last game of the year. Only one team gets to say, I don't give a shit about yards. I don't give a shit about records. I don't care about any of that. If the goal as a team is to win a Super Bowl trophy, all the talk about stats and records mean nothing. Having been on many teams, you're like, we'd see stuff in the news and like, I don't care what these guys, our objective is to win it all. We want the trophy at the end of the year. I don't care about interim records. I don't care who is 5-1. I don't care if you're 10-1. In fact, there was a team that was, 16-0? And I guarantee you they would rather have been 10-7 and have won their last game instead of losing a game to the New York Giants. I'm sure Tom Brady would say that to you. Man, I wish we had lost earlier in the season and we took that perfect record, and it doesn't mean doo-doo. Didn't mean anything. Ask Gronk. Ask Julian Edelman. Ask Bill Belichick. It meant nothing. They lost. And when you lose, you don't get to take home the trophy. So it doesn't matter. I don't get fixed. I don't even hardly look at the standing. I don't care. Doesn't matter if I'm a wild card team if I get in the playoffs. I don't care. I don't care if Tua throws for 3,000 yards instead of 6,000 yards. Doesn't matter to me. I want to know in the first weekend of February, 1, are you playing? And 2, did you win? That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters to basically every single player, whether it be in college or NFL, is how do I get the ring? How do I get the ring? Tom's got 6 of them. He shows you the 6 rings. Can you tell me the record of the years that he won those rings? No, nobody remembers. You have to go look it up. You'd have to go Google. Can you tell me how many yards Tom threw for when he won his 3rd ring? No, you can't tell me. You'd have to go Google it. How many touchdowns did Tom Brady throw when he beat XYZ team in the Super Bowl? I have no idea. But you know this. You know he's got 6 rings. That's the only stat that matters. I understand the Dolphin fan base has been drooling and needing to see so much stuff over the last 50 years that 5-1, oh my God, we might go 6-1. Oh, we might go 7-1. So, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. It is all fan bait. You know, people say clickbait. It's fan bait. It makes you feel good. Doesn't matter at all. Nobody remembers how many touchdowns Tom Brady threw when he was playing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they all can tell you that he won another ring with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nobody knows how many passes Mike Evans caught with Tampa Bay in that year when they won the Super Bowl. Nobody knows how many touchdowns Gronk caught during the Tampa Bay Super Bowl year. But you all know they won. You all know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. Sorry, that's all I look at. So since we're talking about stats, basically, let's go ahead and look at something that's pretty interesting here. Let me see. Let me pull this up. All right, so we were talking. What the heck is going on with my board here? I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way.